Rajang is pissed. I don't know why he's pissed. I don't know why he's as angry as he always is, but I just kind of feel like he's the most pissed off monster in Monster Hunter. I might title this video that, the most pissed off. I don't know, but he's always so angry. I mean, he made his debut in the second generation. He was a part of, what is it, Fang Beasts, I believe, or whatever they're called. You had monsters like Kongala and Blaganga, they all debuted then or whatever, and then at the end of the game, under a whole bunch of circumstances that I myself can't necessarily say, because one, never played the game, and two, didn't decide to look it up, but that's not the point. The point is, you get to fight Rajang, and at that time, he was like the extra big bad guy. I mean, he wasn't like the end game boss, but like, sometimes you can tell the difference between a monster who's harder than the end game boss, and it is not the end game boss, but you know, he's kind of there, almost like an optional boss, if you will. Nevertheless, Mans is mad. He's mad all the time. He has, back then, incredibly stupid hitboxes, but who else didn't, you know what I mean? But he had a whole lot of things about him that made him really tough to fight. A lot of his attacks did so much chip damage, it was beyond insane. If you were blocking, you were losing. Don't block against this guy, you're losing. And he doesn't care if you just blocked an attack and you're supposed to have X amount of recovery frames. He doesn't care. He'll just hit you again, or hit you with the beam, or do some kind of Blanca Ball thing. I mean, this guy has all kinds of stupid things about him that make him not necessarily broken, but a real hassle to fight. Nevertheless, that's the exact reason why a lot of people like to fight this guy. He's one of the more, I wouldn't say tolerable, but he's one of the few monsters, not few, but one of the monsters, I'm trying to get it out here, speak Dak. They are very pattern driven. There's certain things about Rajang that speedrunners have got down to a T. He does not like to stand up on his, I almost said 2 feet, he's kind of like a monkey thing, so the 2 feet that he actually stands on, I guess, his back legs, and then he walks on his hands. So he doesn't really stand up on whatever. He doesn't stand up. He doesn't like not fall over a lot. He falls over a lot, and people take advantage of that, and they really know how to actually exploit all his weaknesses because he has a problem standing up. So, but that's not the point here. The point I'm trying to get across is that Rajang is a beastie of a monster. He has a lot of things going for him that make him a terrible presence, that a ton of people who are new to the series, moderately new to the series, medium to the series, above medium to the series, have a lot of issues with. And you know, it's okay. He's been giving a lot of people a lot of grief for a long period of time, but for the most part, let's talk about what it is that Rajang is, and throughout the years, what did he do, if he did things at all. And just like any good story, start at the beginning, right? So in the beginning, Rajang made his appearance in the second generation. He was not a flagship monster. This series that we've been doing, we haven't really done a lot of non-flagship monsters. The only ones we've done were either bad guys or flagships. I can't for sure say if Rajang is a bad guy, because you know how bad guys work. Bad guys work where it's like, you know, you are doing what you do, and boom, out of nowhere, here's a monster who's super strong for absolutely no reason. For the most part, they're given little to no help up into this monster. So for example, you're fighting wyverns, flying wyverns, you know, fang wyverns, blah blah, whatever. Then out of nowhere, a brute wyvern pops up, and it's the first time I ever fought a brute wyvern, or you maybe only fought one brute wyvern before him, and it was so far in the back that it didn't really even matter. And then you have this slapper of a monster in front of you. How do you combat this thing? Rajang really isn't that. I mean, you had Kongala, Emerald Kongala, and then Blaganga, but he's so different from the other two that he's kind of a bad guy. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a dick. Nowhere else to say it. My man is very penisy, girthy, if you will. And I'm not talking about his swole up arms. Actually, I am talking about his swole up arms, because he will use those things to sling like massive chunks of earth at you. I mean, he is like, he throws like continents at you. You know what I mean? Like, here you are minding your own business, and then there's half of Seattle, you know what I'm saying, just coming straight at you, or like the entirety of Australia, or whatever, which is actually a whole continent. But he throws large amounts of earth at you. He does in two fashions: when he's pissed off and not pissed off. When he's pissed off, he'll throw big earth. When he's really pissed off, he throws even bigger earth. You know, that's just how he gets down. On top of that, he has, you know, the usual suite of attacks that he has: the super spin, the Blanca Ball, the double up, slap you up all side the head kind of attack. He jumps here, jumps there, jumps all around, does the bouncy ball thing. I think he does it twice in high rank and 3 times in G rank. That's Rajang. Oh, how can I forget? My man has the beam. Okay, the beam is like mad strong. It hurts a lot. In the original games, it didn't actually do any elemental damage. Shout out to the homie Box for telling me such things. It didn't do elemental damage. It only did emotional damage. Okay, so if you got hit by this thing, you were probably dead. If you weren't dead, you're still probably going to die. So that's just Rajang how he was. Now, Rajang did everyone a favor and did not appear in the 3rd generation at all. Thank you, Capcom. You are ever so kind, and I praise you on high. But he made his return in the 4th generation, aka Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, aka Monster Hunter Rajang Ultimate, or Rajang Hunter 4 Ultimate, or whatever the heck people called it, because they fought him endlessly in those 140 guild quests to get the really dope joint. Me personally, as a Lancer, didn't have to do that. Black Diablos was who I had to fight to get my Slapperoonie Patoonie, and that's all I really cared about. All the other long swords and charge blades or all the other broke weapons, you had to fight Rajang. For lances, you didn't have to fight Rajang. Word up. Shout out to my lance boys, pokey sticks. But anyway, we had to fight him a whole lot there. Now, in that game, he got a whole new form. I skipped Furious, didn't I? Where did Furious pop up at? Roxas, I don't know where Furious popped up at. We're not talking about Furious. We should, but we're not going to. Okay, I didn't talk about all 13 different types of freaking Yongaruga when I did the Yongaruga video. But then again, I didn't know about the other types because. Anyway, moving on. So you had Rajang popping up here. He had a Apex form. In 4 Ultimate, Apex was you got sick. You remember Gormagal? We did a whole video about Gormagal. Gormagal was sneezing on people, and he sneezed on Rajang, but Rajang, I guess, sneezed back and then killed the Gormagal and was like, I'm still thugging it, and he got like really, really hard. Pause. So you had to like hit him with the Y stones to knock the Apex form off him. Regardless, you took a monster who can essentially kill you in one shot and then made him actually kill you in one shot. Sure. I mean, I can't necessarily quantify this buff because he was already godlike. How do you, what's 2 times godlike? Still godlike. That's like half of infinity. It's still infinity. You know what I mean? I guess if you did the numbers, he wasn't killing you in one. Whatever, it's Rajang. I mean, he just probably threw a giant rock at you and called it a day. I mean, that's what he is. He's a freaking dick. For the most part, in the 4th generation, the moves were the exact same. I don't think he even changed any moves at all. If he did have any more moves, it was just when he would grip you. You know what I mean? He's a gripper, a pastrami gripper. You know what I mean? He gripped you like this. You know what I'm talking about? Shook you up real good. And then tossed you. That's what he did. He shook you up and then tossed you. And then, yo, we're going to skip all the way up. Forget, where we at, 4th gen? Cool, we can go to 5th gen now. Now we're in 5th gen. He would grip you. He'd grip you like this, son. And then wait, Furious did this, right? Was it Furious? I think it's Furious. Roxas show Furious. He would grip you, and then he breathed on you with that hot lightning breath. Well, actually, this time it actually does elemental damage, not just emotional damage. I think it does both now. I'm not sure. Check Wikipedia, something like that. But he grip you, he yell at you real good, then he'll toss you. Thing is, that did a lot, my guy. That attack right there in 5th gen, whew, that was a bunch. Now, we will talk about Furious briefly in the 5th generation because I'm not saying like they're wildly different. They're really not. Furious Rajang has no weakness to his tail, whereas before he did. Furious doesn't have a tail. Furious's tail was usually just known as a broken tail. It wasn't a thing. Jump to 5th gen, they took away my man's actual tail. He has no tail. Take a look. You know what I mean? Roxas, show the people. You know, but anyway, so now he doesn't have a tail. And he is actually a lot easier to fight than regular Rajang. Regular Rajang has a couple attacks where if you get hit with it, or even if you block it, you're either going to be susceptible to an incredible and an ungodly amount of chip damage that will drain your entire stamina bar and HP bar to nothing. It's happened to me twice. It's happened to me on stream. I was dumbfounded. Whereas Fierce doesn't have the same thing. He has that particular attack, but doesn't do the same amount of chip. So for the most part, if you're a turtler like me, you'll probably have a better chance fighting Furious. However, Furious will grip you and he'll do you with the hot breath kind of thing. Also, when he throws you on the ground, I think this is a straight up Rajang thing. No, they both do it, but he has another grip. He has another command grab, if you will. He'll do some stuff, Rajang stuff. He'll throw you on the ground, and then he walks upon y'all, stands up. You know what I'm talking about. Show him the walk. You know the walk I'm talking about. He walk up there on you like this, yo, what's good? And he'll punch you, and then he'll kill you. The only way to get out of that is to either slinger pod some dung or have your friend slinger pod some dung. Or is it a flash pod? I'm pretty sure it's a flash pod. But if you don't have that, you're going to get duffed. Now, Furious, however, he will do the same thing, but he takes so long to duff you, you can just get out the way. Mind you, the duff comes mad hard body when he's pissed. So regular Rajang will do it and not be pissed, and you can get away. But if he's pissed, you better be quick on the draw. Other than that, I think that's Rajang. Oh wait, we got Rise. Rise Rajang, also according to Box, is ass. They nerfed him. I'm not gonna lie to you. I avoid Rajang like the plague. I couldn't tell you how he's nerfed, even though this is a video where I'm explaining to you guys everything. But just know that he's nerfed. Actually, if you want to know more about Rajang in the 5th gen and Rise anyway, I made a whole video about 5th gen Rise Rajang, which you can go and check right here for all the extra goody booty. But for the most part, this is Rajang. He's the bad guy's bad guy. You know what I mean? He's not the first bad guy. He's so bad that even though you had multiple monsters to fight up until him, he's just that guy. He swings on literally everyone. In 5th gen with the Turf Wars, he swings on everybody. Everybody's getting a lick. He'll Shoryuken a freaking Rathalos. He'll fight any Elder Dragon who run up on him. People like put him down when we're talking about Elder Dragon power in terms of power scaling. They'll put him as the litmus test. Can it beat Rajang? If no, Rajang is better than that Elder Dragon. That Elder Dragon's only special because that's special blood running his veins, not because he's powerful. You know, think Karen. Literally, think Karen. Rajang goes and eats Karen. You know what I mean? He'll go up, you snatch, like break it like freaking like some celery. The freaking horn, snap that joint right off, eat it. You know what I mean? Kit Kat bar type style. Probably throw it in a headlock and break his neck. I don't know. Might eat the freaking Karen too. Who knows? We've seen it happen multiple times. So Rajang is that guy. He's a menace. He's a quite literal menace to society. Fighting him is a absolute chore. Like either you are swinging for the hills and praying for everything to go your way, or he's busting some ass. And long story short, this is a mad monkey. You don't want to tangle with King Kong. King Kong ain't got shit on him.
Hey Dak, can you come here real quick?
You wanted to talk to me, Roxas? Yeah. What's up?
Yeah, I had an idea about Rajang. You know, the monster we just did this video on.
Okay, I'm listening. Yeah. Go on.
Technically, isn't he just Donkey Kong with horns that can actually go Super Saiyan? I mean, and stick with me here, he has different forms. A base form, one where he's angry and turns yellow, and then when he's really angry, lightning forms around him and his arms turn red and stronger, giving off the vibes that he's kind of kicking it up a notch. Not to mention, he also has a beam of energy that he fires at you. So, what do you think, Dak? You gotta admit, my idea isn't really that far from the truth, right?
You know, I don't know any other way to say this, but you're fired. You are fired. Yo, pack your bags. Clean out your desk. Yo, get out.
Oh, fuck.